Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a recent reads about all the books that I read during the month of October. So if you want to see what I read during October, just keep watching. The first book I read is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. This is the second book set in the small Georgia town of Graves Glen. This one follows the cousin of the main heroine in the first book. Her name is Gwen, and Gwen lives and runs a store in the town. And so when Wells comes to town, he opens up a store across the way from Gwen, and things kind of get off on the wrong foot because of that, because they're kind of like competition for each other. And they end up kissing because of a curse that was put on them, and they kind of realize, oh, we kind of like each other. We kind of are like attracted to each other. But then Gwen starts losing her magic, and they have to kind of team up together to figure out why. So this one was a cute, like contemporary witchy read. I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it a 3 stars, like middle of the road, cute romance. I did enjoy the witchy romance and the small town vibes it gave off. Excellent to read during the month of October. So the next one I picked up was Pumpkin Heads by Faith Erin Hicks and Rainbow Rowell. This one is a sweet fall themed graphic novel. It is about 2 teenagers who've worked at this pumpkin patch like all through high school, but then now they're going into college. So this is their like last shift together before that change happens. And so I enjoyed going around the pumpkin patch with the characters and seeing all the fall like food and sights. It was definitely a cute graphic novel, and definitely like more YA, I would guess. It's a good one to read during like that fall season. It definitely gives you, you're set in a pumpkin patch, so it gets you all those fall vibes that you might be looking for. I did end up giving this one a 3 star. So the next one I read is actually an audiobook, and it was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I had read Spinning Silver and had enjoyed that one. I actually buddy read this one with Bandana Book Mom. So this one is about Agnieszka, and Agnieszka is at the age where every 10 years the dragon comes and he takes a girl from the village up to his tower and keeps them. And people really don't know why he does that. And so she comes up at the beginning of the book of one of the girls that could possibly be taken. And she does end up obviously getting taken to the dragon, who is like a wizard. And he helps to like keep the forest at bay, because the forest is kind of like an enemy. It's its own like entity, and it keeps on like possessing people and kind of like sending, like infiltrating like their minds and making them turn bad and do bad things. And so he kind of like has to keep it at bay, and it will take over like whole towns. So that's what he does, and that's where she gets pulled into. And we soon realize that Agnieszka maybe has some magical abilities of her own, and it kind of goes from there. Like I said, I did really enjoy this one simply because I love imagery in books. I like when, especially since I read this on audio, I like when an author can really just make me like paint a picture in my mind with the use of imagery. I could see the magic that was happening. I could see like the forest and what was going on just based off how she wrote. I did like Agnieszka as a character. I was kind of like here or there on the dragon. He was fine, but there is like a romance teased, and I was kind of like here or there with it. So that's why I ended up giving it a 4 star. And yeah, I think I was probably the one that liked it the most out of everybody that read it. So the last one I read during the month of October was Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. And this one is about Reggie, who ends up going on a job interview, thinking that she was going to work as like an assistant to like her favorite card company, like somebody within her favorite card company called the Magic King. It ends up actually being an interview for her to be a familiar for an actual witch named Drew. And so she's kind of like, what? She goes and she gets the job, and it's kind of like, what's happening? Maybe my boss is a bit eccentric. Um, so it kind of goes from there. I think it's pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny how that happened. And so the witch does have a nephew named Ben, and Ben is our hero in this book, and he is a witch as well. And so Reggie at first just doesn't believe that, witches are real. And so like they kind of have to make her believe. And of course, Ben is just really annoyed about that. And it's kind of like a dislike to love sort of situation. I did ultimately end up joining this one more than I did The Kiss Curse. It is another contemporary witchy read. I did enjoy kind of the plot better in this one and how it ended up going. So yeah, there ends up being a curse, or yeah, there's a curse, and her and Ben have to team up to kind of figure out what is happening and break the curse. So again, this is a cute contemporary witchy read. I did end up giving it a 4-star. So those were all the books that I read during the month of October. Let me know in the comments below what you read during the month of October and your thoughts. If you've read any of these, let me know. I'd love to hear your thinking, and I'll just talk to y'all later. Bye.